Hello my friends of Cosmic Agency, my name is Gosha and this is the third part of our Federation series in which today we will mention how the Federation relates to the whole topic of the CIA infiltrating the UFO community, Cabal, and how it relates to the topic of false alien invasion. So this is going to be a very interesting topic, and I insist that you watch until the end of the video, because this way you understand more of all this false flag invasion scenario, situation, and much more, because the details will be added also towards the end about this specific topic. This part of the video came out actually as me sharing with Swaruu X and with Yazhi different groups out there that are popping out and basically going against us and revealing to the people that we are not what we are saying we are. So I was just simply sharing with Swaruu X and with Yazhi all that, and we were talking back and forth about this, and this is how the topic went into the CIA infiltrating the UFO community. And here, you have to watch this. Is very important because the degree of the CIA infiltration is just so intense and so widespread, people just have no idea. The CIA has been infiltrating and controlling all areas of our society, and especially the awakening communities, the UFO communities, because this is where the awakened people are starting to ask questions about the greater realities and about truths. So this is especially important for them to control those movements and those people. So watch this, you'll understand how it relates, like I said, to the false flag invasion, possible false flag ET invasion, and you'll understand much more about the topic in general. In the second part of this video, I will share a short conversation that Robert had with Swaruu X about the recent Pentagon disclosures and documents, and how we find out how it actually might be connecting with the false flag extraterrestrial invasion. So Swaruu X here will give her opinion about this whole disclosure topic. So also, if you are interested in the subject, and I know you are, continue watching till the end. So thank you very much and enjoy it.
Swaruu X. I clearly see that the Federation and the races that make it up, as well as just about all the rest of the observer races, see Earth as a place to have an experience of sorts of whatever happens in a human lifetime, individually or collectively. So they don't take what goes on Earth seriously. Even the concepts of evil on Earth are seen as contained there. Not that there is no evil outside Earth, but not as a scene on Earth. That or those concepts are unique to Earth. Concepts of evil such as jinns, devils, etc. are found only on Earth. So what I clearly see about how even the most versed humans see reality and what is going on in space and on Earth is only another reflection of Earth concepts, and do not represent what is really going on, neither on Earth nor in space. If we compare how other species of the Federation see the problem from the point of view of their home planets, we again see that it does not reflect what or how humans interpret things. And those races from their planets don't really see Earth as a problem planet, invaded, nor in trouble of any sort. They see it as an educational, self-contained, isolated reality or realm where strange and unethical things are allowed to happen for many reasons, but mostly for educational or for experimental reasons. Regressive ET races are not a problem in space, nothing to really be of any concern. This is because of many reasons. For example, the most obvious one would be that the Federation and its web of influence is so large that they swept away evil races long ago. So from this point of view, they have transcended evil, at least the classic evil. So the Federation in itself is not regressive, and this explains why so many people jump when you say they are acting in an unethical or evil manner, because that is the reflection of the other ET contacts, channeled or direct. With a caution here, because the Federation will only give those other contacts what they want them to know and how they want them to see the Federation. So this means that what the people, the other contacts, are receiving many times is Federation propaganda. It is not as simple as what they say. Know someone by their actions, not by their words. We are not bad-mouthing the entire Federation. We are stating clear thoughts about how the Federation runs Earth. They have done nothing to help humans, only empty words. Puppy Trump is going to save you. Puppy Federation is going to save you. Bad-mouthing you and wanting to silence you is an invasive, imperialistic, monopoly of truth attitude. You and everyone else should have the right to say whatever you want. Let the listener decide. Whoever is wanting to silence you is engaging in more tyranny. Something is very wrong here regarding the Federation and Earth. They are not acting their words, and I clearly see all pro-Federation activists on Earth as engaging in some kind of intelligence psyops of the sort of QAnon and Trump, exploiting the need of the poorly versed humans to hang on to something like hope, religions, again making them go into a do-nothing mentality. They are experts in human psychology, so they are exploiting this need to believe in a higher power. I see them using the Federation as a new religion, claiming anyone who says anything against it to be infidels. This is very serious. All you need to do is replace the word Federation with the word Jesus there, and you'll see what I mean. Pro-Federation slogans such as getting humans out of slavery at the cost of their own lives. This is totally Jesuit. This is the very concept of Jesus, giving his own life to save humanity from the original sin. This has Jesuits written all over the place. Humans tend to explain everything only using what they think they know and from attachments to their pet ideas. So you saying that the Federation is acting in an evil way is just like you saying that Jesus is bad. They are holding on to their pet concept of Federation, love and light. And that does not reflect what other people see about the Federation. Telling you to stop transmitting your information is just like burning books. Why do they care to present themselves as warriors of light who fight for the liberation of humanity then, if that's not how they view this experience here, from which we need to be liberated from? Why manipulate human perception about themselves at all? Why not leave it neutral? Because the Federation is not doing this that you are mentioning. It is the humans who are doing it. The Federation as such does not even care how it is seen from inside the game. Only perhaps because some ETs will leak their personal point of view to some humans. But the whole concept of Federation being love and light, liberating humanity and all that, is for me just a human construct, from their very limited point of view and understanding. The propaganda as such, and as I mentioned above, would be coming from human organizations with the intention of controlling people's perception and not coming directly from a Federation propaganda department. The New Age was created by the CIA to control human awakening, perception, and attitude, even perception of reality of the then so-called hippie movement. This we are seeing now is more New Age control, more of the same. The CIA is not a government agency dealing with national security. That would be the NSA. The CIA was created by design to cover and back up, protect the interests of corporations that are owned by Jesuits and Cabal members. That is why they are on to you, because you are not aligned with their narrative, therefore you are dangerous. The Galactic Federation of Light, whatever, is one of their best pet initiatives to control human minds. You are messing with their programs and with their intentions. The people who are doing this are following a mind-controlled narrative that came out of the Jesuits because it resonates with them. Again, the people become instruments of the powerful, and they don't even notice. They are blinded by the shine of hope coming from an all-powerful Federation concept, promising them things that will never come to be. Because they have never come to be. Why should they now? Wow, okay. So it's not even Federation itself messing with people perception here. Very interesting. Yes, this is very clear to me. Another day. Yazhi. In general, what we are saying about the Federation is very complex. So the ones who are attacking us for bad-mouthing them surely are not understanding what we are saying. Now, let me tell you what Swaruu X's concept is on this topic. She is feeling and seeing that in the community that talks about these things, UFOs, extraterrestrials, Federation, awakening, etc., there is a mainstream and an alternative media. This is important. The base for this is that we know, and many people on Earth know as well, that the CIA controls the New Age, even started it. People don't realize the reach of the CIA. They think it is only some spy agency looking at terrorists in Syria or wherever, and similar things. In reality, it is a control institution, and it works for the Cabal directly, for the Illuminati and their interests. Swaruu insists that she is seeing that there is clear influence and control over certain groups of people who are saying things about Federation and ETs and awakening. So those groups of people are backing one another, influencing their perception, mind controlling one another, with the CIA managing psyops with them since the 60s. So what those all are saying is guided and approved by the Illuminati interests. They feed off one another. They reinforce one another. And we know many have been directly involved with the Jesuits and some even with the CIA directly. So they make a group and they are given the same kind of information, so they back one another with that. And anyone outside of this group is seen as a problem for their interests, the interests of the CIA and of the Jesuits' Illuminati. This is seen as evident when they use one another to promote or distribute among the spiritual community a set of data or information they want out there. They are all CIA tools. They want the people that are interested in Federation, stellar subjects and awakening, extraterrestrials and all that to be all working in unison under the CIA, Jesuit, Illuminati control. Not to be able to see this, not understanding that the CIA and their managers need to control every aspect of human perception, is even foolish. They even say so directly. When all what the public thinks they know is a lie, then we have completed our mission. CIA Director. This is exactly the case here. All those people and their friends, some knowingly cooperating with the CIA, others just being used, are the mechanism of the Matrix to divert the attention of the awakened population so they can be controlled. So this is the group that is complex, not simple, of people who are in a web of reinforcing one another and for the sake of monopolizing the truth with regards to extraterrestrial information of any kind. This group can be seen as mainstream media, MSM, of the ET community, of which we are not part of, and therefore we are under attacks because they see us as dangerous, and we are. We are the alternative media of this subject, and they are the MSM. It makes perfect sense, thank you. Just that now people will ask, I know, how do we know you are not some counter-reverse CIA trick? But I think that's not even worth answering. Anyone who observes closely our information will see that it's not possible. You can't know who is who a priori. All you can is use your discernment, as with everything in the MSM. We are alone. We are constantly under attacks, and we are stating things no one dares to say about these subjects. Yes. My other question is this CIA and Cabal setting up this pro-Federation propaganda, or Federation itself? And if it's CIA and Cabal, what's their interest here in having people believe so much in the Federation? For them not to do anything themselves? Just that? Because as Swaruu said, they, the Illuminati Cabal, are preparing the false alien attack, invasion or contact. So the Cabal want the people to be as one with the same mentality towards the Federation, and we are messing things up for them. I see. But how does it fit with portraying the Federation as good guys? Because they want to use that for their agendas of control. But why? What's their interest of seeing them as good guys? I don't understand. See the Federation of Galactic Light, or whatever it's called, the same as QAnon. making all the spiritual UFO ET buffs go and trust them and place all their hopes in them. See it as another version or modern replacement of the concept of Jesus as it is used to control the masses, good and evil. The people fall into this trap, thinking that pure evil cannot exist, so there must be a good side to all what is going on. The people, everyone, especially the ones who want to believe in extraterrestrials coming to help them, and especially the ones who are honestly working towards a disclosure, all those semi-famous ones, are the first ones to fall into that trap. In my opinion, all that large group of ET experts are being played by CIA and its operatives. And we have many examples of those people. So many people are genuinely falling into working for the CIA cabal without even knowing it. They are preparing that fake alien invasion, but I doubt it will come as an invasion as in the movies, like in military takeover of Earth. It most likely will come as positive aliens with nice agendas that strangely comply and are in tune with Agenda 2130 and with global warming climate change, imposing some sort of new order, new world order, and possibly religion that may not even look like a religion, but as a set of rules or belief system that the humans must comply to. You are upsetting the Cabal when you badmouth the Federation. When you are saying that they are the ultimate controllers of Earth, they don't like you saying that because you are right on the money. Same here. That is the reason why the Federation has placed a gag on the Taigetans, because they are spilling the beans, telling the humans exactly what the Federation and the Cabal does not want them to know. So they are preparing a nice alien invasion, which in this case won't be fake. They are really planning to show up? Which part of it would be fake? Nice as in that's why they need people to view the Federation as good guys. I really doubt there will be any sort of real ETs appearing. That's why it's fake. They will most likely use false extraterrestrials under their full control. I say this because the Federation has really gone out of its way to preserve the status quo on Earth as a self-contained social bubble that has little to nothing to do with what is going on outside. Therefore, they even use the concept of the dome, referring to a hard barrier wall, bubble surrounding Earth, isolating it completely from the outside. And this wall or dome is no other than the Van Allen belts. So they wish to retain this super-controlled Earth realm where all interaction with extraterrestrials is fully under Illuminati Cabal control. Therefore, the people will never ever see real ETs, only the ones they want them to see fully under their control. Backing this up is the fact we know, and from where I stand it's not even debatable, that there were no moon landings and no Mars rovers, no ISS space station as such, and nothing like that. NASA is all fake, as we've been yelling for years. So this will also be fake, because they don't want real extraterrestrials involved, because they wouldn't be under their control. Important wording concepts I need you to take into account, and that I have not explained before. Words: alien, negative, regressive, non-human entity that alienates humans, sets them off their spiritual path. Extraterrestrial, positive, progressive, friendly, non-human being that is wanting to enlighten and help humans move forwards and be well. Okay. You mean they, the Federation, wish to keep the Earth under Illuminati Cabal control? Yes. This hurts the minds of many. And that's why we get bashed. But they don't realize that even the Illuminati is not all evil in the eyes of the expanded Federation mind. They are the ambassadors of the Federation to Earth, or sort of, somewhere along those lines. As stated by countless people in the ET community now, the Federation or the extraterrestrials do accept and recognize human governments as authorities over the people by consent. Is it the Illuminati that promotes the Federation as good guys, or is it with cooperation with the Federation? Because Swaruu X was saying that the Federation doesn't probably even care how they are viewed. She's right. The Federation doesn't care. All what they want is to maintain the purity of the Earth realm and it being isolated from whatever is going outside their dome. But from the Cabal Illuminati level, they do care, because they are using the Federation as a tool, a revised and updated Ashtar command and Alaniso on steroids to control all the UFO buffs. Again, as I said above, what we say is very complex. What others say in the subject is simple for simple-minded people. Those simply want to see bad people and good people, bad Cabal, good Federation, when what we are saying is that it's not so simple. This has many levels, and what is on one level is not in another. So it takes a lot of mind power to keep up with us. And sincerely, not a lot of humans have that kind of mental resources. I know. Okay. But one question still. Is Federation involved in that propaganda of portraying themselves in a certain light? Or does it grow out of Cabal, pure Earth level? I think it's linked, must be. Because otherwise, they wouldn't care either to cut the Taigetan's internet. We cannot know for sure if it's involved or not, or how much it is involved directly, the Federation. My clear take is that they are not involved, and this all is coming from a lower Illuminati Jesuit CIA control mechanism. Therefore, this level of thinking that the Federation is all love and light is purely coming from humans, and I bet on that. There is a whole team of people involved here, some under paycheck, others just doing it because they think it is the correct thing to do, because that is what they want to believe. Again, if the Federation itself is involved in this or not, this is a question of levels, and seeing this as set up in a step council manner, so used by the Federation, what one level is doing does not necessarily have anything to do with the next level up. So this portraying the Federation as love and light surely is coming from the Jesuits, the CIA level of things, and not having any ET involvement. But then again, perhaps it does have. I cannot know this. I may perceive a lot, but not everything. But honestly, I do have a very strong tendency to feel as a knowing that it's only coming from a human social control agenda level and mechanism. If the ET-run New World Order was not in the picture, and they wouldn't have to have people accept it, then there would be no reason to portray them as good guys. Why not portray them as bad guys then? For starter, because the Federation is running the Cabal Illuminati, and they don't want to be seen as the bad guys, should they need to be seen as the good guys later on. Because for fact, there probably will be a false alien invasion soon to come. Note that they say alien invasion and not extraterrestrial invasion, at least mostly.
Well, exactly. So that's why they must have their fingers in this propaganda as well. It might be coming as an idea and is executed by human cabal, but the Federation approves it, at least.
Yes, to one level or another they are involved. Another thing that points out to that is the fact that they just now silenced the Taigetans. Right now? Really?
Right. That was my point above too. If they were not involved, then why would they care what the Taigetans reveal?
To one or another level they do care. Then what you are saying is right on the money. So that's what is bothering them so much.
Yes, it's all related. As you said, they need people to believe in them, in case they need people's approval at some point, fake alien invasion or not.
Yes.
Swaruu X.
I wonder if false alien invasion will be presenting the aliens as something good or something bad. That's something I'm confused about. They don't have one plan only. They have multiple plans that roll out depending on each scenario as it plays out. So, one possible plan or scenario is a false alien invasion that would remove all liberties and all freedom from the people in the name of a greater good. And that invasion may come as a full-blown false military ET coming down to Earth to enslave all, or it could come in the shape of a positive alien invasion as positive ETs coming to help and imposing on the human population new rules. Rules that will be the exact ones the New World Order wants. As in a second coming of Christ, or a Federation of Light appearing to give people a new religion, and they will all fall for it, for a new world order. Because those beings will be seen as benevolent, as they cured a pandemic, for example, or they healed the earth from global warming, and even gave people a new economic order or system, like Nesara Gesara. And it will all be fake.
So it could go in both directions, good ETs or bad ETs invasion.
For now, we strongly think that when and if that comes to pass, it probably will go the path of the loving and caring, problem-solving Galactic Federation, imposing New World Order rules on the people. Also because of how strongly they are interested in protecting their Federation of Light and how it is seen in the public eye. No one can argue that the Federation is about to save the humans, because about half the population on Earth has taken papayas with a cocktail of substances. So it is too late to be asking the Federation to help. We do have things that indicate that they probably will take that path of the good ETs invasion. For example, with their insidious insistence of imposing on the public the concept of a benevolent and loving federation, as they are out to destroy and censor anything that goes against that image. They are clearly setting things up in that direction. So they don't want people like us ranting against the Federation, as it goes against their plans.
Yes, I was just thinking that. But then, wouldn't the real Federation or real ETs step in to set it straight? I'm sure they wouldn't like to be used.
they would not step in, because the fake alien invasion is only happening on Earth, in that realm, and is or will be seen as part of the game and of the learning curve of humans. I'm sure of this, very sure of this.
Then we will need to step in and inform the people.
We are also part of the game. We may be making everything worse or better, depending on who you are and what your interests are. But at least we are telling people how things are, not playing a deceitful game. All we are trying to do is to make people think on their own. Think, damn it.
Short chat with Robert. Swaruu X.
We from here know where they are going with their documents' declassifications and with their agendas. We know they have in mind the use of, but we feel that not yet, the fake alien invasion soon. If this false invasion occurs, it could be in two ways. 1. In the form of invasive military direct invasion. 2. In the form of saving of humanity intervention on the part of a benevolent Galactic Federation. We strongly believe from here that it will be scenario number 2. They are preparing everything, and it is reflected even in their insistence that the Galactic Federation, as they call it, be seen as the good guys, the saviors, and that is why they attack us, because we tell the truth that they are not just love and light. When the false Galactic Federation, made by the Cabal, with the authentic one permissive of all this, enters, they will save humanity from the problems of the pandemic, among other things, and will give them free technologies as well, which the population will only see as something good and formidable, and they will love it. Also, the free energies and the new economy Gesara Nesara, or whatever it is called, it doesn't matter. It will be at the cost of humans delegating their belongings and powers for the good of the community and for the good of the planet, using excuses such as that oil is scarce, and that is why the use of the internal combustion engine should be stopped in favor of electric cars and vehicles that only those that are within the system can have, super rich and others. And also, said electric vehicles, because of its very nature, can be controlled by the networks, by the internet, at the discretion of the Cabal.
But how is a benevolent Galactic Federation going to present itself to Earth that is not a holographic society, delegating everything for the good of the community?
It is a trap. It will be done by the Cabal with the permissiveness of the real Federation. In the name of global warming, which is false, they will stop using internal combustion vehicles, which will deprive the human population of independence and mobility. They will depend on the system more than ever, not being able to move autonomously, much less privately. This is a very important point. It can be seen in the decline of cars that increasingly rely on electronics, increasingly expensive, and with increasingly smaller engines. Also, the adoption of high-profile small car designs, such as small SUVs, that lack all stability on the road, with rickety engines of 1.4 liters or less, sometimes only with 2 or 3 cylinders. This is seen in the adoption of the small displacement motorcycle and the fact that large displacement motorcycles are unaffordable in the same way as cars. And this connects with whoever wants to encourage the use of the bicycle, but at the expense of the car and the motorcycle. This sounds healthy and good at first glance. Bicycles, as something isolated, are very healthy. The problem is that they are being used for population control, because people will no longer be able to have true independence of movement and will be contained within the distance range where they can pedal without possibilities of long trips in a practical way. This by containing the population and limiting their freedoms in the name of ecology and global warming, as well as under the excuse that oil is running out, something that from here we know that it is a rapidly renewable natural resource, as my colleagues have already explained. So going back to the Pentagon documents, they will never give the public anything that is true. What they will give you will be exactly and only what the CIA wants people to know and believe, and that is directly tied to how they want people to see aliens, tied directly to their fake alien invasion agenda. So the so-called Pentagon documents are really just a name, because what will be given to the public will initially be from the Pentagon, then processed by the CIA, corrected and augmented, and then exposed to the public with the full intention of guiding the perceptions of the people towards what the controllers want, according to their agendas, like false invasion. The intelligence that we have here, or the data, whatever you want to call it, indicates that they are paving the way for option 2, which is the benevolent alien invasion that will save humanity from its problems, but at the cost of people's freedoms, because the fake aliens will say and dictate conditions of aid that will go entirely hand in hand with the intentions of the New World Order. And it remains to be stated that we know that there are real aliens working with the Cabal New World Order to develop this, and the Federation is directly behind this agenda.
Wow. And those beings, people, will look like the Nordics?
Most likely, yes. Most probably, they will say they are Pleiadians and the like, or races that do not exist but are based on the classical Pleiadians of beautiful beings like the Solatians.
And the people will fall for that.
Yes, but all designed by the Cabal to manipulate the population. That's what the reset is all about, as it was when they invented Christ. The imposition of total new belief system with the destruction of the old. That's why they destroy the past today, erasing everything, censoring everything, being digital and burning books again, tearing down historic buildings all over the world, connects to Notre Dame, effectively erasing the past of humanity to impose a new one. I actively denounce the disappearance of historic buildings around the world in a systematic way.
The same as when they destroyed the Druids.
That's right. And if you accuse me of being the same thing as others, please, just look at what I'm saying. No one else is reporting this.
they will never reveal the truth.
Not by them, never. Yes, they will only give you controlled and manipulated information that is consistent with the population control agendas they have in mind. The fact that all those people still believe that it will happen indicates how little knowledge they have about how those who control the earth operate, and that everything is connected to each other. You cannot see the UFO phenomenon in isolation without connecting it to the agendas of the New World Order and secret societies. Everything is connected. Only few can see the complete landscape.
Another day. Swaruu X.
About Taygeta, that is basically the problem with the Federation. Its obsession with following rules and Taygetan's disobedience. When we very well know the Federation always twists their own rules to accommodate the situation as they see fit for their interests. The idea most people follow about the Federation as an all love and light organization, accusing us of being negative because we dare question them. How dare we question a perfect organization? Is coming from a completely artificial human idea and interpretation of what the Federation should be like, and does not reflect the truth of what is outside Earth. They go into a state of adoration, idealizing the Federation. And people within that human organization, or even group of like-minded people like ufologists and so-called researchers, who only go validating one another, sharing their information and their ideas as what should be, are the ones creating the concept of Federation as it is understood on Earth. I really insist that from our point of view, from outside Earth, things are very different. And this is one more attempt to describe things outside human understanding using limited human language. The human's concept of Federation is extremely simplistic. Reality is quite different. Federation is an extremely complex and enormous organization with many levels. So many, it's quite impossible to understand them all. And to make things worse, it also transcends what humans call densities. Even the interpretation of what is right and what is wrong changes at those levels, making it nearly impossible to understand for humans with rigid frames of understanding that also have attachments to their own pet ideas. And to make things even worse, many such humans talking about Federation are only using the subject to gain popularity and acceptance within their community, for money, for fame, for a place among other accepted researchers, and my favorite, because they are under an agenda and payroll, probably of one or more three-letter spy agencies. And humans, the public, no longer knows what to think, who to believe, and they fall again into the same train of thought of always to follow the one, the researcher or the whoever that has more credentials, more friends or influence. So continuing with the mainstream MSM media mentality, falling again into the same trap as always, following an acceptable source instead of using their own heads, because they do not want to bother making up their own minds about any subject, as they are so used
to be fed things already digested. And we've said this before. All the narratives, all the information on Earth must and has to be controlled by agencies of all subjects. The information people receive has to be controlled by them. Nothing must be left ajar and in the wind, because it could come back to bite them. They want total control. What makes you think that the UFO and researcher and contactee community would be the exception? No, it's not, and on the contrary. It is one of the most controlled areas because it concerns many levels that the Cabal wants people to be under control with, such as spirituality, high prohibited technology, and awareness of how things really work on Earth in general. So, as I was saying earlier, the people are being fed misinformation all over and about all subjects, from politics to nature of reality to science. So what is reality for them? It's a completely artificial construct. On Earth, there are several realities, none of which go or fit with one another. There is one for the masses, for the simple people. There is another for the politicians, another for low secret societies, and yet another for deep secret societies, not to mention off-planet realities that also have a lot to do with what is going on Earth. So, with this multi-level reality morphing system, it is impossible for the public to know what is what. Each reality described above has its own set of accepted rules, science, and all you can think of. And each level is always thinking that they hold the ultimate truth, as they are apparently above other levels. And as usual, they are blind to levels above them, due mainly to their own egocentric narcissistic complexes. At this point, I must ask, as people will ask this for sure, how different does it make us though? We are also sort of feeding them with information, and people jump on it, a lot of them without questioning. How would you respond? How can people know we are different? How to discern and navigate this? They must use their heads. We cannot give any sort of proof of all this, because there is no proof for this subject, not even here inside an Andromedan biosphere. We are telling them, the public, to think, to be wise, while the others talking about the Federation want to silence us because we differ from their ideas and they want to impose their narrative that goes hand in hand perfectly with their agendas of control, such as QAnon and a long list of UFO researchers. We are the ones saying, wait, things are not so simple. Look at all the ethical and moral implications going on here on multiple levels. They are only saying that the Federation is of love and light, and they are here to help humanity and liberate them. What they say does not hold water, because those are empty promises that never have come to pass. So people are only there staying, waiting for it to happen, while their liberties are taken away. Exactly as with the QAnon movement. It is so exactly as the QAnon movement that it looks to be under control of the same people. Some specific people in the UFO field are being used as a bridge for the CIA and other three-letter spy agencies to infiltrate into the UFO spiritual community. So, how are we different? The others are telling people to ignore us because we are lying,
and accusing us of many things. They clearly have not understood our complicated points of view. Theirs are too simple to even be true. And we are never telling anyone not to listen to other opinions. That is how. We are the ones who they are trying to silence. They are the ones who want to have complete monopoly of truth over this Federation subject and over all other subjects as well. This is modern book burning. This is how people can see who is who.